This is not a Bible study, episode 36, The Captivity, part 6, Visions of Times to Come. Ezekiel's vision of the restoration. In the 25th year of our captivity, in the beginning of the year, the 10th day of the month, the 14th year after the city was destroyed, April 573 BC. In the same day, the hand of the Lord was upon me, and he brought me there. In the visions of God, he brought me into the land of Israel and set me upon a very high mountain, upon which there was as the building of a city bending towards the south. And he brought me in there, and behold, a man whose appearance was like the appearance of brass, with a line of flax in his hand, and a measuring reed in his hand, and he stood in the gate. And this man said to me, Son of man, see with your eyes, and hear with your ears, and set your heart upon all that I shall show you. For you are brought here, that they may be shown to you. Declare all that you see to the house of Israel. And behold, there was a wall on the outside of the house round about, and in the man's hand a measuring reed of 6 cubits and a handbreadth. And he measured the breadth of the building 1 reed, and the height 1 reed. And he came to the gate that looked toward the east, and he went up the steps of it. And he measured the breadth of the threshold of the gate 1 reed, that is, 1 threshold was 1 reed broad. And he brought me into the temple, and he measured the fronts 6 cubits broad on this side and 6 cubits on that, the breadth of the tabernacle. And the breadth of the gate was 10 cubits, and the sides of the gate 5 cubits on this side and 5 cubits on that side. And he measured its length 40 cubits, and the breadth 20 cubits. Then going inward, he measured the front of the gate 2 cubits, and the gate 6 cubits, and the breadth of the gate 7 cubits. And he measured the length of it 20 cubits, and the breadth 20 cubits, before the face of the temple. And he said to me, This is the Holy of Holies. And he measured the wall of the house 6 cubits, and the breadth of every side chamber 4 cubits round about the house on every side. And the side chambers, one by another, were twice 33. And they bore outwards that they might enter in through the wall of the house and the sides round about, to hold in, and not to touch the wall of the temple. And there was a broad passage round about, going up by winding stairs, and it led into the upper loft of the temple all round. Therefore was the temple broader in the higher parts, and so from the lower parts they went to the higher by the midst. And I saw in the house the height round about, the foundations of the side chambers, which were the measure of a reed, the space of 6 cubits. And the thickness of the wall for the side chamber outside, which was 5 cubits, and the inner house was within the side chambers of the house. And he brought me to the gate that looked toward the east. And behold, the glory of the God of Israel came in by the way of the east. And his voice was like the noise of many waters, and the earth shone with his majesty. And I saw the vision according to the appearance which I had seen when he came to destroy the city. And the appearance was according to the vision which I had seen by the river Chobar. And I fell upon my face. And the majesty of the Lord went into the temple by way of the gate that looked toward the east. And the Spirit lifted me up, and brought me into the inner court. And behold, the house was filled with the glory of the Lord. And I heard one speaking to me out of the house. And the man that stood by me said to me, Son of man, the place of my throne, and the place of the soles of my feet, where I dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever, and the house of Israel shall no more profane my holy name, they and their kings, by their fornications, and by the carcasses of their kings, and by the high places. They who have set their threshold by my threshold, and their posts by my posts, and there was but a wall between me and them, and they profaned my holy name by the abominations which they committed, for which reason I consumed them in my wrath. Now therefore, let them put away their fornications, and the carcasses of their kings far from me, and I will dwell in the midst of them forever. But you, son of man, show to the house of Israel the temple, and let them be ashamed of their iniquities, and let them measure the building, and be ashamed of all they have done. Show them the form of the house, and the fashion thereof, the goings out and the comings in, and the whole plan of it, and all its ordinances, and all its order, and all its laws. And you shall write it in their sight, that they may keep the whole form of it, and its ordinances, and do them. And he brought me back to the way of the gate of the outward sanctuary, which looked towards the east, and it was shut. And the Lord said to me, This gate be shut, it shall not be opened, and no man shall pass through it, because the Lord, the God of Israel, has entered by it, and it shall be shut for the prince. The prince himself shall sit in it, to eat bread before the Lord. He shall enter in by the way of the porch of the gate, and shall go out by the same way. And he brought me by the way of the north gate, in the side of the house, and I saw, and behold, the glory of the Lord filled the house of the Lord, and I fell on my face. And he brought me again to the gate of the house, and behold, waters issued from under the threshold of the house toward the east. For the forefront of the house looked toward the east, but the waters came down to the right side of the temple, to the south part of the altar. And he led me out by the way of the north gate, and he caused me to turn to the way without the outward gate, to the way that looked toward the east. And behold, there ran out waters on the right side. And when the man that had the line in his hand went out towards the east, he measured 1,000 cubits, and he brought me through the water up to the ankles. And again he measured 1,000, and he brought me through the water up to the knees. And he measured 1,000, and he brought me through the water up to the loins. And he measured 1,000, and it was a torrent which I could not pass over, for the waters were risen so as to make a deep torrent which could not be passed over. And he said to me, Surely you have seen, O Son of Man. And he brought me out, and he caused me to turn to the bank of the torrent. And when I had turned myself, behold, on the bank of the torrent were very many trees on both sides. And he said to me, These waters that issue forth toward the hillocks of sand to the east, and go down to the plains of the desert, shall go into the sea, and shall go out, and the waters shall be healed. And every living creature that creeps wherever the torrent shall come shall live. And there shall be fishes in abundance after these waters shall come there, and they shall be healed, and all things shall live to which the torrent shall come. And the fishers shall stand over these waters from En-gadi to En-galim. There shall be drying of nets. There shall be many sorts of fishes there, as the fishes of the great sea, and a very great multitude. But on the shore of it, and in the fenny places that shall not be healed, because they shall be turned into salt pits. And by the torrent on the banks thereof on both sides shall grow all trees that bear fruit. Their leaf shall not fall off, and their fruit shall not fail. Every month they shall bring forth firstfruits, because the waters thereof shall issue out of the sanctuary. And its fruits shall be for food, and the leaves for medicine. Thus says the Lord God, This is the border which you shall possess the land according to the 12 tribes of Israel. For Joseph has a double portion, and you shall possess it, every man in like manner as his brother, concerning which I lifted up my hand to give it to your fathers, and this land shall fall unto you for a possession. And this is the border of the land. Toward the north side, from the great sea by the way of Hethlon, as men go to Sidada Emath, Beratha, Sabarim, which is between the border of Damascus and the border of Emath, the house of Tikon, which is by the border of Auran. And the border from the sea even to the court of Enan shall be the border of Damascus. And from the north to the north, the border of Emath, this is the north side. And the east side is from the midst of Auran, and from the midst of Damascus, and from the midst of Gilead, and from the midst of the land of Israel, Jordan making the bound to the east sea, and thus you shall measure the east side. And the south side, southward, is from Tamar even to the waters of contradiction of Kadesh, and the torrent even to the great sea, and this is the south side, southward. And the side toward the sea is the great sea, from the border straight on till you come to Emath. This is the side of the sea. And you shall divide this land unto you by the tribes of Israel. And you shall divide it by lot for an inheritance to you, and to the strangers that shall come over to you, that shall beget children among you. And they shall be to you as men of the same country, born among the children of Israel. They shall divide the possession with you in the midst of the tribes of Israel. And in what tribe soever the stranger shall be, there shall you give him possession, says the Lord God. And these are the names of the tribes from the borders of the north, by the way of Hethlon, as they go to Emath, the court of Enan, the border of Damascus northward, by the way off Emath. And from the east side thereof to the sea shall be one portion for Dan. And by the border of Dan, from the east side even to the side of the sea, one portion for Asher. And by the border of Asher, from the east side even to the side of the sea, one portion for Naphtali. And by the border of Naphtali, from the east side even to the side of the one portion for Manasseh. And by the border of Manasseh, from the east side even to the side of the sea, one portion for Ephraim. And by the border of Ephraim, from the east side even to the side of the sea, one portion for Reuben. And by the border of Reuben, from the east side even to the side of the sea, one portion for Judah. And by the border of Judah, from the east side even to the side of the sea, shall be the first fruits which you shall set apart, 25,000 in breadth and length, as every one of the portions from the east side to the south of the sea. And the sanctuary shall be in its midst. And for the rest of the tribes, from the east side to the west side, one portion for Benjamin. And over against the border of Benjamin, from the east side to the west side, one portion for Simeon. And by the border of Simeon, from the east side to the west side, one portion for Issachar. And by the border of Issachar, from the east side to the west side, one portion for Zebulun. And by the border of Zebulun, from the east side to the side of the sea, one portion for Gad. And by the border of Gad, the south side southward, and the border shall be from Tamar even to the waters of contradiction of Kadesh, the inheritance over against the great sea. This is the land which you shall divide by lot to the tribes of Israel, and these are the portions of them, says the Lord God. And these are the goings out of the city. On the north side you shall measure 4,500. And the gates of the city according to the name of the tribes of Israel, 3 gates on the north side, the gate of Reuben 1, the gate of Judah 1, and the gate of Levi 1. And on the east side 4,500. And 3 gates, the gate of Joseph 1, and the gate of Benjamin 1, and the gate of Dan 1. And at the south side you shall measure 4,500, and 3 gates, the gate of Simeon 1, the gate of Issachar 1, and the gate of Zebulun 1. And at the west side 4,500, and their 3 gates, the gate of Gad 1, the gate of Asher 1, the gate of Naphtali 1. Its circumference was 18,000, and the name of the city from that day, the Lord is there. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, 553 BC, Daniel saw a dream. And the vision of his head was upon his bed, and the writing the dream, he comprehended it in a few words, and relating the sum of it in short, he said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea. And four great beasts, different one from another, came up out of the sea. The first was like a lioness, and had the wings of an eagle. I beheld till her wings were plucked off, and she was lifted up from the earth, and stood upon her feet as a man, and the heart of a man was given to her. And behold, another beast, like a bear, stood up on one side. And there were 3 rows in the mouth of it, and in the teeth of it. And thus they said to it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and look, another like a leopard, and it had on it 4 wings, as of a fowl. And the beast had 4 heads, and power was given to it. After this I beheld in the vision of the night, and lo, a 4th beast, terrible and wonderful, and exceedingly strong. It had great iron teeth, eating and breaking in pieces, and treading down the rest with his feet. And it was unlike to the other beast which I had seen before it, and had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, another little horn sprung out of the midst of them. And 3 of the first horns were plucked up at the presence of it. And behold, eyes like the eyes of a man were in this horn, and a mouth speaking great things. I watched till thrones were placed, and the Ancient of Days sat. His garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like clean wool. His throne like flames of fire, the wheels of it like a burning fire. A swift stream of fire issued forth from before him. Thousands of thousands ministered to him, and 10,000 times 100,000 stood before him. The judgment sat, and the books were opened. I beheld, because of the voice of the great words which that horn spoke, and I saw that the beast was slain, and its body was destroyed and given to the fire to be burnt, and that the power of the other beast was taken away, and that times of life were appointed them, for a time and a time. I watched therefore in the vision of the night, and lo, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and he came even to the Ancient of Days, and they presented him before him. And he gave him power and glory and a kingdom, and all peoples, tribes, and tongues shall serve him. His power is an everlasting power that shall not be taken away, and his kingdom that shall not be destroyed. My spirit trembled. I, Daniel, was affrighted at these things, and the visions of my head troubled me. I went near to one of them that stood by, and asked the truth of him concerning all these things, and he told me the interpretation of the words, and instructed me. These are 4 great beasts, are 4 kingdoms, which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High God shall take the kingdom, and they shall possess the kingdom forever and ever. The 4th beast shall be the 4th kingdom upon earth, which shall be greater than all the kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns of the same kingdom shall be 10 kings. And another shall rise up after them, and he shall be mightier than the former, and he shall bring down 3 kings. And he shall speak words against the High One, and shall crush the saints of the Most High. And he shall think himself able to change times and laws, and they shall be delivered into his hand until a time and times and half a time. And a judgment shall sit, that his power may be taken away, and be broken in pieces, and perish, even to the end. And that the kingdom and power and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven may be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all kings shall serve him and shall obey him. Hitherto is the end of the word. I, Daniel, was much troubled with my thoughts, and my countenance was changed in me, but I kept the word in my heart. And Daniel was the king's guest, and was honored above all his friends. Now, the Babylonians had an idol called Bel, and there was spent upon him every day 12 great measures of fine flour, and 40 sheep, and 6 vessels of wine. The king also worshipped him, and went every day to adore him, but Daniel adored his God. And the king said to him, "Why do you not adore Bel?" And he answered and said to him, "Because I do not worship the idols made with hands, but the living God that created heaven and earth and has power over all flesh." And the king said to him, Does not Bel seem to you to be a living God? Do you not see how much he eats and drinks every day? Then Daniel smiled and said, "O king, do not be deceived. For this is but clay within and brass without, neither has he eaten at any time." And the king, being angry, called for his priests and said to them, "If you do not tell me who it is that eats up these expenses, you shall die. But if you can show that Bel eats these things, Daniel shall die, because he has blasphemed against Bel." And Daniel said to the king, "Let it be done according to your word." Now the priests of Bel were 70, besides their wives and little ones and children. And the king went with Daniel into the temple of Bel. And the priest of Bel said, "Behold, we go out. And you, O king, set on the food and make ready the wine and shut fast the door and seal it with your own ring. And when you come in the morning, if you do not find that Bel has eaten up everything, we will suffer death, or else Daniel that has lied against us." And they little regarded it, because they had made under the table a secret entrance, and they always came in by it and consumed those things. So it came to pass, after they were gone out, the king set the food before Bel, and Daniel commanded his servants, and they brought ashes, and he sifted them all over the temple before the king. And going forth, they shut the door, and having sealed it with the king's ring, they departed. But the priests went in by night, according to their custom, with their wives and their children, and they eat and drank up all. And the king rose early in the morning, and Daniel with him. And the king said, "Are the seals whole, Daniel?" And he answered, "They are whole, O king." And as soon as he had opened the door, the king looked upon the table and cried out with a loud voice, "Great are you, O Bel, and there is not any deceit with you." And Daniel laughed, and he held the king that he should not go in, and he said, "Look at the pavement, mark whose footsteps these are." And the king said, "I see the footsteps of men and women and children." And the king was angry. Then he took the priests and their wives and their children, and they showed him the private doors by which they came in, and consumed the things that were on the table. The king therefore put them to death, and delivered Bel into the power of Daniel, who destroyed him and his temple. And there was a great dragon in that place, and the Babylonians worshipped him. And the king said to Daniel, "Behold, you cannot say now that this is not a living God. Adore him, therefore." And Daniel said, "I adore the Lord my God, for he is the living God. But that is no living God. But give me leave, O king, and I will kill this dragon without sword or club." And the king said, "I give you leave." Then Daniel took pitch and fat and hair, and boiled them together, and he made lumps, and put them into the dragon's mouth. And the dragon burst asunder, and he said, "Behold him whom you worship." And when the Babylonians had heard this, they took great indignation, and being gathered together against the king, they said, "This king has become a Jew. He has destroyed Bel, he has killed the dragon, and he has put the priests to death." And they came to the king and said, "Deliver us Daniel, or else we will destroy you and your house." And the king saw that they pressed upon him violently, and being constrained by necessity, he delivered Daniel to them. And they cast him into the den of lions, and he was there 6 days. And in the den there were 7 lions, and they had given to them 2 carcasses every day, and 2 sheep. But then they were not given to them that they might devour Daniel. Now there was in Judea a prophet called Habakkuk, and he had boiled pottage, and had broken bread in a bowl, and was going into the field to carry it to the reapers. And the angel of the Lord said to Habakkuk, "Carry the dinner which you have into Babylon, to Daniel who is in the lion's den." And Habakkuk said, "Lord, I never saw Babylon, nor do I know the den." And the angel of the Lord took him by the top of his head, and carried him by the hair of his head, and set him in Babylon, over the den, in the force of his spirit. And Habakkuk cried, saying, "O Daniel, you servant of God, take the dinner that God has sent you." And Daniel said, "You have remembered me, O God, and you have not forsaken them that love you." And Daniel arose and ate. And the angel of the Lord presently set Habakkuk again in his own place. And on the 7th day the king came to bewail Daniel, and he came to the den and looked in, and behold, Daniel was sitting in the midst of the lions. And the king cried out with a loud voice, saying, "Great are you, O Lord, the God of Daniel." And he drew him out of the lion's den. But those that had been the cause of his destruction he cast into the den, and they were devoured in a moment before him. Then the king said, "Let all the inhabitants of the whole earth fear the God of Daniel, for he is the Savior, working signs and wonders in the earth, who has delivered Daniel out of the lion's den." Belshazzar, the king, made a great feast for 1,000 of his nobles, and every one drank according to his age, in 539 BC. And being now drunk, he commanded that they should bring the vessels of gold and silver which Nebuchadnezzar his father had brought away out of the temple that was in Jerusalem, that the kings and his nobles and his wives and his concubines might drink in them. Then were the golden and silver vessels brought, which he had brought away out of the temple that was in Jerusalem, and the king and his nobles, his wives and his concubines drank in them. They drank wine and praised their gods of gold and of silver, of brass, of iron, and of wood, and of stone. In the same hour there appeared fingers, as it were of the hand of a man, writing over against the candlestick upon the surface of the wall of the king's palace. And the king saw the joints of the hand that wrote. Then was the king's face changed, and his thoughts troubled him, and the joints of his loins were loosed, and his knees struck one against the other. Then Daniel was brought in before the king, and the king spoke and said to him, "Are you Daniel of the children of the captivity of Judah, whom my father the king brought out of Judea? I have heard of you, that you have the spirit of the gods, and excellent knowledge and understanding and wisdom are found in you. And now the wise men, the magicians, have come in before me to read this writing and show me its interpretation, and they could not declare to me the meaning of this writing. But I have heard of you that you can interpret obscure things and resolve difficult things. Now, if you are able to read the writing and to show me its interpretation, you shall be clothed with purple, and shall have a chain of gold about your neck, and shall be the 3rd prince in my kingdom." To which Daniel made answer, and said before the king, "Your rewards be to yourself, and the gifts of your house give to another. But the writing I will read to you, O king, and show you its interpretation. And this is the writing that is written, Mane, Tekel, Phares. And this is the interpretation of the word, Mane. God has numbered your kingdom and has finished it. Tekel. You are weighed in the balance and are found wanting. Phares. Your kingdom is divided and is given to the Medes and Persians. Then by the king's command Daniel was clothed with purple, and a chain of gold was put about his neck. and it was proclaimed of him that he had power as the third man in the kingdom. The same night, Belshazzar, the Chaldean king, was slain, and Darius the Mede succeeded to the kingdom, being 62 years old. Note: the identity of Darius the Mede is uncertain. Cyrus the Persian ruled over both Medes and Persians. It is possible that this Darius is a member of the old Median royal house. Some take this to be a matter of confusion on the part of the compilers of the book of Daniel. And Daniel excelled all the princes and governors, because a greater spirit of God was in him. And the king thought to set him over all the kingdom. Whereupon the princes and the governors sought to find occasion against Daniel with regard to the king. And they could find no cause nor suspicion, because he was faithful, and no fault nor suspicion was found in him. Then these men said, "We shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, unless perhaps concerning the law of his God." Then the princes and the governors craftily suggested to the king and spoke thus to him: "King Darius, live forever. All the princes of the kingdom, the magistrates and governors, the senators and judges have consulted together that an imperial decree and an edict be published, that whosoever shall ask any petition of any god or man for 30 days, but of you, O king, shall be cast into the den of the lions. Now therefore, O king, confirm the sentence and sign the decree, that what is decreed by the Medes and the Persians may not be altered, nor any man be allowed to transgress it." So King Darius set forth the decree and established it. Now when Daniel knew this, that is to say, that the law was made, he went into his own house, and opening the windows in his upper chamber towards Jerusalem, he knelt down 3 times a day, and adored and gave thanks before his God, as he had been accustomed to do before. Wherefore those men carefully watching him found Daniel praying and making supplication to his God. And they came and spoke to the king concerning the edict. "O king, have you not decreed that every man that should make a request to any of the gods or men for 30 days, but to yourself, O king, should be cast into the den of the lions?" And the king answered them, saying, "The word is true, according to the decree of the Medes and Persians, which it is not lawful to violate." Then they answered and said before the king, "Daniel, who is of the children of the captivity of Judah, has not regarded your law, nor the decree that you have made, but 3 times a day he makes his prayer." Now when the king had heard these things, he was very much aggrieved, and in behalf of Daniel he set his heart to deliver him, and even till sunset he labored to save him. But those men, perceiving the king's design, said to him, "Know, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persians is that no decree which the king has made may be altered." Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. And the king said to Daniel, "Your God, whom you always serve, he will deliver you." And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, which the king sealed with his own ring, and with the ring of his nobles, that nothing should be done against Daniel. And the king went away to his house, and laid himself down without taking supper, and food was not set before him, and even sleep departed from him. Then the king, rising very early in the morning, went in haste to the lion's den, and coming near to the den, cried with a lamentable voice to Daniel, and said to him, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you always serve, been able, you think, to deliver you from the lions?" And Daniel answered the king and said, "O king, live forever. My God has sent his angel and has shut up the mouths of the lions, and they have not hurt me, forasmuch as before him justice has been found in me. Yes, and before you, O king, I have done no offense." Then the king was exceedingly glad for him, and he commanded that Daniel should be taken out of the den, And Daniel was taken out of the den, and no hurt was found in him, because he believed in his God. And by the king's commandment those men were brought that had accused Daniel, and they were cast into the lion's den, they and their children and their wives. And they did not reach the bottom of the den before the lions caught them and broke all their bones in pieces. In the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, of the seed of the Medes, 538 BC, who reigned over the kingdom of the Chaldeans, the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the number of the years concerning which the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, that 70 years should be accomplished of the desolation of Jerusalem. And I set my face to the Lord my God to pray and make supplication with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. And I prayed to the Lord my God, and I made my confession and said, I beseech you, O Lord God, great and terrible, who keep the covenant and mercy to them that love you and keep your commandments. We have sinned, we have committed iniquity, we have done wickedly and have revolted. And we have gone aside from your commandments and your judgments. And now, O Lord our God, who have brought forth your people out of the land of Egypt with a strong hand, and have made yourself a name as at this day, we have sinned, we have committed iniquity, O Lord, against all your justice. Let your wrath and your indignation be turned away, I beseech you, from your city Jerusalem, and from your holy mountain. For by reason of our sins and the iniquities of our fathers, Jerusalem and your people are a reproach to all that are round about us. Now therefore, O our God, hear the supplication of your servant and his prayers, and show your face upon your sanctuary which is desolate for your own sake. Incline, O my God, your ear and hear. Open your eyes and see our desolation and the city upon which your name is called. For it is not for our justifications that we present our prayers before your face, but for the multitude of your tender mercies. O Lord, hear. O Lord, be appeased. Listen, and do not delay. For your own sake, O my God, because your name is invocated upon your city and upon your people. As I was yet speaking in prayer, behold, the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, flying swiftly, touched me at the time of the evening sacrifice. And he instructed me and spoke to me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to teach you, and that you might understand. From the beginning of your prayers the word came forth, and I am come to show it to you, because you are a man of desires. Therefore mark the word, and understand the vision. 70 weeks are shortened upon your people, and upon your holy city. The transgression may be finished, and sin may have an end, and iniquity may be abolished, and everlasting justice may be brought, and vision and prophecy may be fulfilled, and the saint of saints may be anointed. Know therefore, and take notice, that from the going forth of the word to build up Jerusalem again unto Christ the Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. And the streets shall be built again, and the walls in straightness of times. And after 62 weeks Christ shall be slain, and the people that shall deny him shall not be his. And a people with their leader that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and its end shall be waste, and after the end of the war the appointed desolation. And he shall confirm the covenant with many in 1 week, and in the half of the week the victim and the sacrifice shall fail. And there shall be in the temple the abomination of desolation, and the desolation shall continue even to the consummation and to the end.